This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time
MMA.
And UFC middleweight title challenger Darren Till says he wants to earn his stripes at middleweight before fighting for the title. Now, this is interesting because, for one, a lot of people expect Darren Till to be moving up sooner rather than later because he's had issues making welterweight in the past, and even if he wins this fight against Tyron Woodley, this is the champ era anyway, so if he becomes a welterweight champion, being a very big welterweight, he could definitely be a guy that'd be open to fighting for that middleweight strap. But he's not, saying that he's just gonna be given the title shot. He's not saying he just wants to be given the title shot. He's saying he wants to earn his stripes at middleweight. This is what Darren Till had to say. Only a few more fights at welterweight and I'm done. He said, I've said that I want to go to middleweight. It's just I see a lot of guys, they're chasing money fights. They're winning titles and they're calling either the higher or lower category. They're calling for a super fight. When I take the belt, I want to defend that belt and then I want to go up to middleweight. But that doesn't mean I want to go up and challenge to be the champion. I would like to earn my stripes in that division too. I feel there's a lot of good guys in that division, but there is one guy that I wouldn't like to fight, Yoel Romero. I'm glad he's gone up. He's a fucking beast. So he does potentially like moving up to middleweight and earning his stripes, but it seems like he might be a little choosy. You know what I'm saying? But at least he wants to earn his stripes, right? He's not just calling for some super fight or money fight prematurely. But at the same time, he's talking about how Yoel Romero, potentially is going to be moving up to light heavyweight. So that's a matchup he really wouldn't have to take on if Yoel makes that move. But Yoel recently has said that, he might not be moving to light heavyweight. He's actually might be fighting Paulo Costa soon. Now, as far as Darren Till the middleweight, there's a lot of fights that could happen for him. But one thing also to keep in mind, Darren Till also said he didn't want to fight Woodley next. Not that he didn't want to, but that he agreed with everybody else. I don't deserve the next title shot. And so he was willing to fight a contender at welterweight. He was willing to fight Usman or Lawler or any of these top guys. He was willing to rematch Wonderboy. You don't give a damn. That's who Darren Till seems to be. Anyone, anywhere, any place. But the UFC sees a lot of potential, I believe, in Darren Till. I mean, he's undefeated right now. He's a big guy, can definitely be a future champ if he wins this belt. He could for sure fight for the middleweight title. I mean, he's a big boy. And so, even though he's willing to fight the top contenders, I think the UFC would offer him that title fight, and you don't expect him to say no. Just because he's willing to go up and earn his stripes doesn't mean that the UFC would be willing to risk that. Because if Darren Till beats Tyron Woodley and potentially wants to move up and fight for that next title, it would be a lot of risk for the UFC. Not only would they be risking, if Darren Till loses his first middleweight fight that's not for the title, like let's say he goes up a fight that I would love to see, fucking Israel Adesanya. Holy shit. That's the fight I want to see. I mean, if Darren Till wins or loses against Tyron Woodley, I want to see him, if he fights at middleweight, that's one matchup that I would love to see. Darren Till versus Israel Adesanya. So let's say Darren Till moved up after he beat Tyron Woodley and fought a contender and lost. We can't give him a fucking champ fight after he loses against a top contender if he lost. Of course, he has the chance to win, but if he lost. But not only would you risk his champ fight, because if you're just the champion at welterweight, you'll likely just get that title shot. If it's Whitaker or Gastelum, because they're going to be fighting next. If Darren Till became the champion and wanted to fight the winner of that fight, I'm sure he would have time to defend his belt once before that fight happened. Of course, we've got the TUF season happening. Whitaker and Gastelum are the coaches of TUF, so there's time, and then they got to fight at the end of that. So whoever wins between Tyron Woodley and Darren Till can definitely defend their title one time. And if it's Darren Till who's looking at potentially moving up a weight class, I mean, he's got time to do that. And so not only though would he be risking, his champ fight, because if you're the champion, we see this all the time. Amanda Nunes fighting Cyborg. I mean, all these champ fights going on, it's the champion going up to fight the champion. It's never the champion going up and fighting like a #1 contender and then getting a title shot. You got a belt you've got to defend. So unless you're going to relinquish your belt, you fight the champion and get back to your division. And so that's what Darren Till would have to do unless he's going to vacate his belt. But if he did actually have to fight a contender before fighting for the belt, not only would they be risking the title fight itself, but they would be risking Darren Till 0, which I think adds a lot to the allure, especially for the casual motherfuckers who oh my god, what, a belt's on the line? What, undefeated? Oh wow, undefeated? That must mean he's amazing, right? Like, he's the best ever. Like, you know, just that 0 definitely helps it to be undefeated. And so if Darren Till became the welterweight champion, it's not about what he wants to do. Of course, I'm sure he would like to earn his stripes, but I don't think the UFC would want to make him. It would be like, they would call Darren Till, hey buddy, Darren Till would probably say some shit like, yeah man, I really want to go up and fight one time before the title. No, Darren Till, here's the contract. Yeah, you're gonna get this much money if you fight for the title, and you're gonna risk this much if you fucking want to just fight some top 5 guy just to earn your stripes. How about you come earn this check? And I just think that they could talk Darren Till into it. You know what I'm saying? If they offered him the money, the title fight, who would he be to say no? Exact situation we just saw from this same guy at welterweight. He himself said, yo, I'm willing to sit out and let someone else get a title fight, but the UFC called and gave him the title shot. So yeah, he wants to earn his stripes, but I don't know if he would necessarily have to. But either way, I would love if he did go up and fight Israel Adesanya. Now, him winning the belt's not the only potential weight Darren Till could move up. If he misses weight, which I don't think he's going to do against Tyron Woodley, but he has had weight issues. But if he loses to Tyron Woodley, unless he decides to stay at welterweight, I mean, the beginning of this article honestly was more alarming than anything I've read in a while, just because it makes me wonder about his weight cut. When he says only a few more fights at welterweight and I'm done, he's kind of changed his tune from what he said in the past. He, in the past, has talked about, specifically, when he was saying, I don't care if I have to fight another contender, let Wonderboy fight for the title. If people feel like he won, give him the title shot. I'll fight Usman, I'll fight any of these guys. I'm going to have to fight them all anyway. Whenever I win the belt, I'm going to defend the belt against everybody. So it seemed like he had plans of staying in welterweight for a while. Now that he's going through this weight cut and he's actually having to make 170 pounds and not 174, now he's talking about only a few more fights at welterweight and I'm done. So he might not be liking this actual cut all the way down to welterweight, whatever preparations, you know, whether he had to come in lighter or whatever. If it's the weight cut, that's one of the things that stood out to me. So either way, man, it is what it is. Darren Till said he wants to earn his stripes at middleweight before fighting for the title, even though I don't think the UFC would make him. I do think Darren Till versus Israel Adesanya is a fight that we have to see sometime in the future. And who knows, man, if Israel Adesanya looks good, he could potentially be a future champion. Middleweight's got some killers up there, but who knows, man, that's definitely a potential future fight that we could see. Whether it's a champ fight, whether Darren Till just moves up to middleweight, either way, man, it's a fight I would love to see. Let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOWG!